What's going on, PvPers? We are back for the quarterfinals of the Lost Ark Royal Roaders tournament. Now, the way it's going to work this weekend is it's still a best of 3 series. However, we have a new Group A and Group B category for the weekend. Essentially, one of the advancing teams from A, B, C, and D are going to be mixed up and made into the new Group A, and the other advancing team from Group A, B, C, and D are going to be mixed together and make up Group B. So, those are how the matchups are going to be determined for this weekend, and then the winning teams coming out of both of the groups will be the semifinals next weekend, which will be a best of 5 series. All right, and then the third place game the following weekend will be a best of 5, with the finals being a best of 7. So without further ado, let's get into the first matches of the day. All right, and we're going to get the quarterfinals of Group A underway here, and we're looking at a Soulfist Paladin Wardancer comp for blue coming up against Red Team's Gunlancer Wardancer Summoner. Now, Red Team has a bit more shielding at their disposal with that Summoner and Gunlancer composition, but Blue Team overall has much more overall group utility DR damage reduction available to them, so we'll see which one works out best. Red Team's Wardancer jumping in initially, trying to get a connect, not able to get it, gets knocked by the Paladin into a stun. Going over here to the Summoner, who throws out the Paralysis Orb, doesn't connect, gets knocked by the Soulfist, and actually doesn't have their roll, and is going to get an ulti from Blue Team's Wardancer, but a Gunlancer shield came out from Red to mitigate some of that damage. Red Team's Gunlancer getting a knock on Blue Team's Paladin there. Out top side to the DPS for Red, getting caught by the Soulfist, who then actually gets pulled by the Gunlancer of Red into the ulti, but the Paladin put out the Ruffians to protect him. Wardancer on Red, dangerously low here, is actually going to look like they're going to fall, and A is going to get finished off by the Soulfist there by the Triorbs, and puts out a little palm action onto the Summoner before spacing away and regrouping with their team. Summoner putting out the Flame Worm to get a little bit of damage onto that blue Wardancer. Good start here for Blue Team as they take a first kill lead to start things off. Red Team's Wardancer coming in now, getting the engage into the Tornado on Blue's Wardancer and keeping them separated from their team at the moment. Blue Team Wardancer coming in, getting a knock over there on the Summoner. Gunlancer getting off a burst cannon onto the Paladin for Blue. However, it's not enough damage to really be too impactful at this time, because Paladin is just so tanky. And you're actually going to have Red Team Wardancer getting a double Tornado there to chip away at the health of the Soulfist and Wardancer a little bit there. And now they're going to come in with a Crescent Moon kick, and is actually going to get Whirlwind kicked by the opposing team's Wardancer there. And he's going to come in, get a knock on Red Team's Gunlancer, and Red Team's Gunlancer is going to be stuck bottom side right now, split from his team. Red Team's Wardancer is looking to get a finishing kill here onto Blue's Wardancer, but Blue's Wardancer is going to roll away and look for another opportunity to engage now that they're with their Paladin, coming in, getting the knock up onto the Summoner, but gets peeled off by Red Team's Wardancer instead, and is potentially going to fall here if he can get any kind of damage, but he actually gets knocked away by the Paladin, and you're going to have the Soulfist actually fall now to the Summoner, and they are going to pick up another kill on the Wardancer as well. But at the same time, the Gunlancer for Red is going to fall, and it's going to be tied up 2-2, but the Summoner is low HP, gets engaged on by the Soulfist there with the stun into the Triorbs, and is going to fall, giving Blue Team a 1-kill lead right now, 3-2, 100 seconds left remaining in this match. Knocked up on the top side of the map is the Wardancer, but he does have shielding available at this time from the Gunlancer. Is going to space away to the backside of Blue, look to get an engage, actually gets counter knocked by the Soulfist instead, forced to roll bottom side. Gunlancer getting a nice double grab, but the Ruffians comes out from the Paladin to give them some protection. And you're going to have the Soulfist roll and get knocked again into the Tornado of Red. He's actually going to pop the ultimate there, and they are going to quickly annihilate the Soulfist of Blue to tie things up 3-3. And in the meantime, the Paladin has not died yet, and as such is very low HP right now, trying to get engaged on by the Wardancer. Wardancer getting counter staggered though by the Paladin. Paladin is extremely low at the moment for Blue, but he's hanging on by just a little bit of health. And you have the Wardancer for Red staying around there by their spawn, getting a nice shield protection coming out from their Gunlancer, while they do pick up the kill on this Paladin for Red to go up 4-3 now. Finally taking the lead in this series. Gunlancer coming in with the burst cannon with the Flame Worm combination from the Summoner to get a nice big chunk of damage out there on the Soulfist. Soulfist just respawned and is already low again. Wardancer does get engaged on by the Soulfist there, but does get some shielding out by their Gunlancer to mitigate some of that damage. Coming in onto this Soulfist on Blue right now, getting their shield taken away, and the Soulfist is low once again. Needs to be very careful here. Paladin ulti coming out to provide some shielding as that convulsive buff comes into play. 30 seconds remaining. Wardancer for Red extremely low right now, and is actually going to fall with 20 seconds left. 4-4 tied up. Soulfist is extremely low for blue team. And there it is. The Rufion's coming out to mitigate the initial Phoenix damage, but the Solstice is actually going to fall to the ticking dot of Phoenix that comes from the Summoner, and that's going to give them a 5-4 lead with only 7 seconds remaining. It does not look like blue team is going to be able to pick up another kill here in time, as the War Dancer is also extremely low, and the Gun Lancer takes a little bit of damage, but time is going to run out, and red team is going to take this first win in this best of 3 series. What a match right there. I think ultimately it came down to the Solstice just taking a little too much damage. Let's take a look at the post-game stat breakdown. And there it is. And sure enough, while the Solstice for blue did put in a lot of damage for their team, they died 3 times. They made up for the most deaths on their team by a lot and the damage taken. So again, we talk about this all the time in PvP. You know, it's great if you do the most damage in a match, but if you also take the most damage, that is just as counterintuitive and effective for your team as it would be for doing the most damage. So you need to have a good balance of your damage dealt and damage taken, and they took exponentially more damage than they did than they dealt. So that ended up being the downfall for blue team here in this series. I think it really came down to the Solstice having one respawn where they almost immediately dropped back to 50% HP right after respawning, and that kind of put them on the back foot right away and gave red team a bit of a health advantage, as the Paladin had still not yet fallen from the first series of their deaths for blue team. So that's going to bring a close to the first match. Very well-rounded performance by red team across the board. As you can look at it, very solid, you know, very low damage on each one of the members of the team. The only person who died twice was the War Dancer, and that is their initiator. So it makes sense. You know, you got what you needed. Your summoner stayed protected and was able to take the least amount of damage and put out good damage as well and pick up 3 kills. So, all right, and let's get the second match of this series underway for the Group A quarterfinals. We're looking at the same lineup back again for both teams. No adjustments made to their compositions. Blue team currently has a 1-win advantage in this series. If they win again, they will advance to the winners matches, and red will fall down to the losers bracket by default. Coming out right away, though, we are going to see blue War Dancer actually jumping in, getting a nice little engage there, while red team's War Dancer gets a whirlwind kick off onto the blue team's Gun Lancer. Not going to use his roll. He doesn't feel like he's in any danger at the moment. However, War Dancer jumping back in, able to get a knock onto the summoner backside, and you're actually going to, on the bottom end, have the Solstice get a nice knock and Gatling onto the War Dancer here, who's actually going to pop his ultimate, but the Paladin's going to roll and get the Ruffians out to mitigate the back half of that damage. And you actually have red team's War Dancer getting a nice ulti off here onto the summoner, who was not able to get their shield off in time, and the summoner's actually now at a dangerously low HP range at this moment. Blue team's War Dancer getting off a nice little tornado there onto red team's War Dancer. Red team in a much better HP position to start things off early on here. War Dancer actually jumping back in again onto the summoner, and the summoner went to get the flame worm onto the Solstice, got a little bit of damage, but did not get enough from what they wanted. And you're actually gonna have the Solstice come jumping in and get the Tri-Orbs into a Sword of Justice from the Paladin to finish off the summoner here. Red team taking the first kill of this match once again. And now you have the War Dancer coming in with the tornado, but they're actually going to get finished off as well by the Paladin here. And they are going to go up 2-0 in this matchup very early on here. Red team regrouping back towards their base right now. Paladin getting off a nice little poke there, which the War Dancer followed up on and is now going to back off immediately. And red team is going to go back towards their spawn and regroup. Actually looking to catch a stun there on the summoner, but the summoner did have their immune shield up to mitigate that. Not coming in from blue team's War Dancer, and is going to now go into a tornado here and pick up a little bit of damage onto red team with a Gun Lancer knock there onto red, and followed by blue team's War Dancer disengaging back towards their own summoner. Gun Lancer came out with an ulti trying to pick up a kill there, but was not able to get it in time. Nice Soulfist triple knockup, double knockup there with the Tri-Orbs, but was not able to follow up with too much additional damage. Red team War Dancer bottom side onto that summoner, trying to keep this summoner bullied away in this match right now, and he's going to pursue again, but the Gun Lancer comes in with a nice grab onto the War Dancer, but the Paladin peels them off instead. The summoner is going to come through and finish off red team's War Dancer, and now you're going to see red team's Soulfist fall as well. Well, the Paladin takes a large amount of damage also, and blue team immediately swinging this into a 3-2 match. They are going to go up in this series, this matchup now. There's a very big change there into a paralysis orb and stun. Nice little bit of poke damage onto red team's War Dancer here. Nice stagger coming in through on the summoner to the Soulfist, but the Paladin's there to provide some shielding to mitigate any initial follow-up damage. Soulfist currently knocked on the ground, not using their roll. as the Gun Lancer is the only one near them, and there's no dangerous damage coming through right now. Blue team coming in with a tornado right there onto red team's War Dancer, who is going to repop their Combustion Cloud and is actually going to nice knock onto the Summoner once more. Tries to get the Paralysis Orb, doesn't get it, and actually gets a nice leap engage by their own War Dancer into a Flame Worm combo for red team's War Dancer to take a nice chunk of damage, drop them down to 50% HP. Blue team's War Dancer also around 50% HP. War Dancer on red getting knocked once more. Paladin ulti coming through along with the Soul Fist ulti, and it's actually going to annihilate blue team's War Dancer right away to tie things back up 3-3. War Dancer coming in with a nice grab. Was not able to bash there as there was a CC diminishing return onto that Soul Fist. War Dancer coming out of spawn, jumping right back in, trying to get a knock, but instead gets staggered out of it by the Paladin's Ruffion. And you're actually going to have the Summoner fall right now as the Soul Fist and War Dancer get a nice little tandem off there, and they are going to go up 4-3 right now. We're coming up 30 seconds left. Convulsive buff about to pop. Red team currently up 2 kills at the moment, 5-3. Red team's Paladin looking to pursue and keep this War Dancer pressured right now as the War Dancer actually goes in to get a knock onto red, but instead gets counter knocked by the Soul Fist. It currently does have the Soul Fist knocked at the moment in their backside, and he's going to come out with the tornado, but the Soul Fist is going to use their roll to space away, is going to catch the Paladin a little bit, and you're going to have him get clipped by the edge of the Summoner ulti, but not in the middle of it, so it was only a little bit of damage. Red team's War Dancer extremely low right now as he's getting double teamed at the moment in the backside. Blue team's War Dancer is going to look to finish him off there, and the Cloud is going to do it with that ticking damage. 5-4, 1 second left. Blue team needs to pick up another kill, and they are not going to get it in time, and red is going to take this match to tie it up 1-1. We are going into a third game for this series. Moving on over to the damage post-game breakdown. We're looking at it right here, and you can see very clearly what made the difference this time, and I think it was that early pressure kill that they got onto that Summoner. Very quickly early on, they were able to put out a large amount of damage onto that Summoner, which forced the Summoner to play much more passively than they probably would have liked, and the Summoner actually died very early on, and you can see here the Summoner ended up actually taking the most amount of damage on blue team. So much better job by red team this time, putting that pressure out onto their big damage dealer for blue, making them have to play more passive and actually keeping them out of fights far more often. So much better job by red team that time. Very good performance across the board by everyone on red. Very consistent and steady performance output through and through. Now, blue team's War Dancer still had a very good showing. However, it just wasn't enough in this matchup. If blue team is able to have the same kind of performance once again, while able to protect their Summoner, I think they will definitely lock in another win here. But let's move into this third match and see how it shapes out. All right, and let's get into this third and final match of the first series. Currently is winners takes all to move on to the winners bracket, tied up 1-1. I do think red team is in a bit better of a position to take the victory here if they adapt their play appropriately to protect their Summoner a little bit more, as the War Dancer is able to put out some nice damage as well. And right now, to get things started, you're actually going to have red team's War Dancer coming in to get a knock, and blue team's War Dancer is going to get a counter knock up on them instead. But blue's War Dancer is going to get staggered out by the Summoner here. He's going to come in, try to get a knock onto the Summoner. Does get it, but he gets paled off by the War Dancer. Soul Fist coming out with the ulti right away, and red team's War Dancer is going to put out an ultimate as well to put some damage back on there. And you're going to have the Paladin and War Dancer of blue immediately dropping under 50% HP, while the Gun Lancer is taking a large amount of damage right now. He's forced to roll, and he is down inside that execution health range at the moment. Very low HP for red's Gun Lancer, as well as the War Dancer now getting chipped away ever so slightly. All of blue, though, at 50% HP or lower at the moment. Gun Lancer rolling away once more, extremely low HP. And you got the War Dancer low HP as well, but the Summoner is staying topped off, much higher HP this time around. Not quite full HP, but much better off. Gun Lancer getting off a nice double burst cannon there while making very good use of his low HP. Gets a shielding there. Very good value out of his low HP right now. Does get a grab into a bash. Going to get his ulti off, actually. And he's going to pick up a kill as well as a nice amount of damage onto the Paladin also. And you're going to see all three players for blue dropping here inside that Gun Lancer ulti buff area. And that is a very nice kill swing for red here, going up 3-0. Very good value out of this Gun Lancer's low HP situation. That's probably the best situation that they could have had happen in this environment. And right now the Gun Lancer is going to get stunned and get a counter attack off onto the War Dancer of blue while getting off a burst cannon and some nice little extra chip damage by the Summoner from red as well, putting out some nice damage onto the blue War Dancer to start things off. Gun Lancer finally falling. Summoner low HP, or still above 50% HP, but is getting chipped a little bit here by the Soul Fist. And you're now going to have the Summoner look to regroup with their team. Paladin ulti coming through to provide some shielding for the rest of his team right now. They need to make some, chip away at the HP of red little by little here and get back into this matchup and pick up another kill in the meantime. Summoner still around 50% HP, taking a nice chunk there into the War Dancer ulti, and is actually going to go down right here as we're talking about it, and it's going to be tied up 3-3. War Dancer on red taking a nice amount of damage right now, needs to back off just a little bit and regroup, wait for their summoner. Blue team still has some shielding right now, and they want to get a little more aggressive right here if they're able to. Bash coming in by the Gun Lancer onto the Paladin, which is going to get transitioned into a War Dancer Tornado, who's going to come in for the shock, but the Paladin's not able to connect on it. Soulfist bottom side getting the knockup into the Gatling Blast there, and is going to get a nice bit of damage there onto red team's War Dancer. Gun Lancer taking some nice chunk damage by blue team's War Dancer here. All of blue around the same HP, about 35 to 40% HP range at the moment. They need to be careful as there's very likely situation for all of them to drop really low once more as the Soulfist takes a little bit more damage, jumped on by the War Dancer there into a Tornado. Not able to connect with anyone on that Tornado, however, instead actually forced to space away from the Soulfist. And the Soulfist looked to catch as a stun, but is not able to get it. Instead, gets staggered out by the Summoner there, and actually gets Flame Minioned into a counterattack there onto by the War Lancer. And the Gun Lancer is actually, sorry, Warlord. And the Warlord is actually going to pick up the kill there and tie it up 4-4 as the War Dancer fell on red at the same time just moments before. And you actually have the Paladin on blue extremely low. Both of the supports for the team's low HP right now as we are coming up to the convulsive buff. Extremely close matchup right now. This match could go either way. The War Dancer on blue taking a large amount of damage topside right now in a 2v1. Needs to be careful, spacing back towards his own spawn. Caught in a stagger by the Summoner, and this is going to fall. And this is actually going to put red in a very good situation right now as the Paladin on blue is still extremely low. If they're able to pick up a kill here on the Paladin, which they're going to get him into the Tornado here and likely finish off the Paladin. There he goes by the War Dancer. Right now, blue team needs to pick up 2 kills with only 7 seconds left, and their support is down. Summoner getting a nice knock there. It does not look like they're going to be able to pick it up. 1 second remaining. Match is over, and red team is going to advance to the winners bracket of the quarterfinals. There it was, just like we were talking about. Let's go take a look at this post-game breakdown. There it was. Simply put, the Summoner was able to get protected much more this time around, and as a result had a very good showing, putting out great damage for their team while taking very little damage. Gun Lancer doing a great job. What he needed to do, actually picked up a very nice kill with their ultimate early on and getting a nice 4 assists for their team spread. The Soulfist tried very hard, put out a lot of damage for blue team, but you know, it wasn't enough as the War Dancer for blue actually ended up taking a large amount of damage alongside the Soulfist as well. Paladin not able to contribute as much this time around as they probably would have liked to. But again, I think the swing situation here was when red team actually early on, right, all of them were very low, and the Gun Lancer had a sliver of HP, could barely be seen, and actually managed to get a 3-kill situation for red, which allowed them to get a very early 3-0 lead, which just kind of put them in an HP advantage early on, getting that kind of value out of that low HP situation from that Gun Lancer. So we're looking forward to seeing these teams fighting it out in the winners bracket for red later on. Let's go see our next 2 teams that will be fighting for the winners and the losers bracket matches coming up later. All right, and we are going to get the second matchup of the Group A quarterfinals underway here. We're looking at a Scouter Demonic Gun Lancer going up against a Paladin Gun Lancer Lance Master. Very interesting. Nice to see some diversity in the group comps. No War Dancers on either team this time around. Demonic going bottom side very quickly as the Lance Master is actually going to look to jump in on him. Paladin looking to engage on the Scouter, not able to get it. Gun Lancer looking to get some knocks there. Lance Master going to get a nice knock here, and the Dragon Strike onto the Demonic, who actually goes to connect with a beam, but instead the Lance Master uses their ult to counteract the CC effect that was going to come through from it. Trying to connect for the red spear there, not able to connect on the red spear from the Lance Master, who actually gets chain pulled bashed by the Gun Lancer, who backsteps away from blue team's Gun Lancer. Instead, Lance Master jumping past red team's Gun Lancer, who tried to get the counterattack there, not able to quite connect on it. Blue team's Gun Lancer looking to zone red team's Demonic and Scouter, not quite able to do so as he gets stunned by their spawn. Demonic coming through with the blades being thrown out, but instead the Gun Lancer actually pulled him out of it, and ult coming out by red team's Gun Lancer here, getting a nice little bit of damage onto blue team's Gun Lancer, but CC effect not in any use there as they were coming out of a roll at the moment. Gun Lancer on blue team, getting low, but not quite inside that dangerous execution range yet. Shielding coming out for red team here. Demonic trying to connect on something, is going to get the spikes into the beam onto the Gunlancer here, bottom side, into the enhance, goes Demon Transformation, but gets stunned out by the Paladin. Sword of Justice coming through for some nice chunk damage there onto the Demonic, who actually leaps in topside and gets off a little bit of burst onto the Lance Master of blue team. Red team's Demonic, very low HP at the moment, needs to be careful, is actually going to go and cancel their transformation and get finished off by blue team's Gunlancer instead. Blue team going up 1-0 right now. Taku getting knocked by the Paladin and rolls before the shock effect can come into play by that Paladin, and he's going to move around topside, try to create some space, tries to stun the Gunlancer, who actually manages to backstep away, does get a knockoff onto Taku, but does get finished off by BT there. So we're going to go 1-1 in this match right now. Gunlancer on red is low, however. Lancemaster trying to get away, gets frozen and then finished off by the rockets of the drone from the scouter. 2-1 red lead at the moment. Nice knock there by red's Gunlancer. They try to get a finish off on this Paladin, but the shielding comes through on the Gunlancer for blue team to protect him. And you're immediately going to have the Lancemaster looking to jump in and very aggressively pursuing red team topside, gets frozen by the scouter there, but you're actually gonna have the Paladin come through for the peel onto the Lancemaster. Lancemaster having not really taken much damage here. Lancemaster is gonna finish off the Gunlancer there, tying things up 2-2. Taku getting off a nice stun there into a knockup onto the Lancemaster, forcing their roll here. Lancemaster, very aggressive pursuit onto red team here. Taku getting knocked inside of his Iron Man mode. Ulti coming out by blue team's Gunlancer, gonna put a nice chunk of damage into Taku there, who actually spaces away topside and is still being heavily pursued by this Lancemaster on blue team. Demonic coming through with the beam, able to get it onto the Paladin there. Paladin, though, not really able to get followed up on, spaces away right now, and you are coming into the final minute of the match. The red Lance coming through, only just pushing back the Gunlancer there. Both Gunlancers trading their identity CC effects back and forth right now. Not able to connect on any meaningful engagements on any of the DPS, as the Lancemaster is just trying to heavily pursue this scouter and keep him zoned out of the match. Beam coming through by the scouter, but the Paladin comes in with the ulti, getting off some nice shielding for his team at the moment. Scouter, low HP, having to play very passively, not able to connect on the stun there, but does get a knockup from his War Lancer onto that Paladin, who's actually going to get finished off there with the ulti coming out by the scouter as we are inside the final 30 seconds. Convulsive buff. It is 3-2 red's lead, but everybody on red is extremely low while most of blue team is well off. The Lancemaster is, however, under 50% HP, so they do need to be careful. Gunlancer is going to fall here. Actually, 10 seconds remaining. Red team trying to fall back, and they're actually going to retreat back into their spawn, but they get knocked up. Double big Sword of Justice coming through on the Paladin. They're actually connecting on all three of them, and is going to finish off the scouter and Demonic with a huge Sword of Justice crit at the end to pick up a double kill for the win. 5-3 in this match for the first round. Holy moly, what an incredible Sword of Justice coming through there at the very end. Paladin supports, by the way, pumping that big damage. Let's take a look at the post-game stat breakdown here. And as you can see right away, that Paladin damage, while I do think a lot of that damage came through at the final, 5 seconds there with that Sword of Justice, almost putting out identical damage to the Lancemaster, just 3k less damage from their Lancemaster. While also contributing with a lot of shielding and damage reduction utility and taking the least amount of damage on their team as well. And, that just shows very high contribution of what a Paladin can do as a offensive support in this type of environment. And really, though, I think it comes down to the Gunlancer, though, on red team. That damage taken is just not great to see when you look at their offensive contribution either. Wasn't even able to break 100k damage. I just don't think that they were able to connect the way they wanted to on some of their abilities, and instead got bullied around by the other team's Gunlancer just a little too much, which allowed the Lancemaster for blue team to pursue Taku all over the place. Despite that, whenever we looked, it looked like Taku was just being chased around by the Lancemaster, but Taku was still able to put out a very solid showing with over 300k damage dealt and only 130k damage taken, barely having taken any damage in the match for red. So I think with the right adjustments, red team can have a much better matchup in the next series here, but we'll see how it goes for them. Let's move into that second game. All right, and we're going to get the second match of this series underway, and we actually are seeing a roster change to blue team here. You're actually going to see BT swapping off of his Demonic and onto a Blade instead. This will actually give blue team a little bit more of offensive pressure that they need, because BT is going to have a lot more tenacity protection on that blade, which will allow him to have overall higher damage pressure output for red team here. And you're gonna have the paladin on red coming through, looking to get that knock initially there on Taku, but double headhunter coming through by BT into the Hurricane Rush for some nice damage output immediately onto the Lancemaster, and Paladin shielding having to come out right away by red team here. Red team's Gunlancer ulti coming in to chunk the blue Gunlancer down very low here early on in the match, as a very large amount of damage to come through on blue team's Gunlancer right away. It's going to force him to have to probably play a little more defensively here to start things off, looking to get a counterattack, and both Gunlancers just trading counters right now, as bottom side you have the Lancemaster jumping around trying to avoid Taku. Gunlancer able to connect on a nice stun bash into the burst cannon with the Hurricane Rush from BT for a very high damage combo output onto that Lancemaster for red team. There he is, getting another knock there. No follow-up, though, unfortunately, for that Lancemaster. And Gunlancer is going to get a nice bash there off on the Paladin, disrupting that Rufion's here. And you're going to have BT come slashing through to finish off the Lancemaster here to pick up the first kill for blue team in this match. Gunlancer for blue, still very low here, is going to bring out his ulti right now. Diminishing return effect onto the Gunlancer for red, but it allowed for a nice 3v1 damage situation onto that Gunlancer to get him extremely low right now. Huge damage output coming out between Taku and BT here, as the Gunlancer for red is now having to back off a little bit, and they are going to finally bring down blue team's Gunlancer here. Whirlwind up top by BT onto that Lancemaster, trying to keep that pressure out on him, knocking the Lancemaster once more. BT just absolutely getting to do what he wants on the blade now, having all that tenacity on his skills and movement coming into play. Getting a nice whirlwind knock up there into the Hurricane Rush. Gonna finish off that Gunlancer, and they're gonna go up 2-1 right now. 3v1 onto this Paladin right now, as the Lancemaster is stunned out by Taku. Beam coming through onto that Paladin. They're gonna look to finish off the Paladin here. Not quite able to do it before the Gunlancer comes back, providing shielding. And the Paladin is going to disengage to topside, as BT is going to just throw out the Headhunter, though, and execute him from range instead. Lancemaster disengaging back topside by his Gunlancer, but is going to get picked off by the Gunlancer blue team here. And they're actually going to get a nice little damage combination off onto this Lancemaster, as he's knocked again, doesn't have his roll available, and Taku's going to get the beam out there. BT is going to fall to the Lancemaster, unfortunately, however, as Taku is looking to get a nice follow-up back onto this Lancemaster and finish him off. Red Dragonflight coming through, misses the red spear, unfortunately. BT now having respawned, coming through, looking to engage onto that Lancemaster. Instead is going to go topside, trying to space away the Paladin. Lancemaster really low right now. Headhunter, Ruffion protection there by from the Paladin, but Taku and BT are sitting there with Hurricane Rush, and they're being waiting to finish him off. 4-2 blue team lead at the moment. 70 seconds remaining in this match. Z-Skill coming out, as well as Taku's identity into the Iron Man mode, and they're just going to pump damage into this Paladin, but this Paladin's popping all of his defensive survival capabilities that he can right now, while the Gunlancer for blue is on the ground. He's going to pop his identity and slowly move away and get back between his team here. Looking to get a nice counterattack onto the Gunlancer there for red, and the Lancemaster is going to pursue Taku again, bottom side, as he's going to space away back towards the middle by his Gunlancer. Blade topside, waiting for an opportunity to come in right now. Freeze coming out by Taku, not able to connect on it. Paladin charging in, not able to get the knockup, goes into the spin, doesn't connect on it, unfortunately, as BT comes jumping in backside, looking to get a tornado, not able to connect onto the whirlwind there, as the Gunlancer for blue team is actually going to fall here to the Lancemaster. 4-3 inside that convulsive buff range now, and here you actually stun into an ultimate by BT into the Z-Skill. Huge damage coming through, absolutely obliterating that Paladin very quickly, and is going to finish off the Gunlancer as well, and that Hurricane Rush with Taku following up also for some shock orbs, and that's actually going to absolutely punish the health of that Lancemaster here, as all of red team is just dropping like flies right now, and the Lancemaster is going to fall again, and blue team is going to absolutely run away with this match in the final 10 seconds, and they are going to go up 7-3 for this match, and they are going to take the win to tie things up 1-1. Wow, what an incredible offensive performance coming out by blue team there. It's really incredible to see what kind of change just Blade was able to do for them. Let's take a look at the post-game stats, and there it is. Actually, you see it right there. BT, actually, very high damage performance coming through on that Blade. 4 kills, 3 assists. He was a part of every single kill in this match on that Blade there. Very strong showing by BT on the Blade, but let's not knock away from Taku here, actually. Taku is on that Scouter, and he still did 340k damage, but he took less than 100k damage. That is, and did not die. That is a very good performance on that Scouter as well over there. while he was not able to do as much damage, he took considerable less damage overall in this match. Now, this time around, I think one of the difference makers, as you can look at Red Team, the Lance Master took a lot more damage. I think that he was not able to pursue around as freely this time with BT jumping around on that blade, able to move just as much as he is. But at the same time, the Paladin was not able to have as strong of an offensive showing this time around either, was not able to contribute as much and apply as much pressure, as it is much more difficult to lock down a blade than it was a demonic. And just overall a much better showing by the Gunlancer on blue as well, allowing blue to just overall completely dominate the back end of this match. So now it's going to come down to a third match between these two teams. Let's see who's going to move on to the winners bracket and who's going to drop down into the losers. All right, and we're going to get this third match in this series underway. Winner moves on to the winners bracket. Loser moves down to the losers bracket for the quarterfinals. And we're actually looking at another class change, and it's another blade. Blue team actually swapping out their Lance Master for a blade. So now both teams have swapped out one of their DPS to change them into a blade. I know some people are just shaking their fist right now watching that type of thing happen. Scouter immediately coming out with a freeze into the beam onto the blade top side, getting some poke initially right off the bat. Chain pull coming out by Red Gunlancer, not able to connect on it. And you're going to have Blue Blade jumping in, looking to get a knock, not able to get it onto that Gunlancer. And they're going to go all three men pushing in from Blue. Sword of Justice getting some nice poke onto Red Team's Gunlancer out the gate, putting out their shield protection right now, as Red Team not able to connect too much on anything, as the Paladin took a little bit of damage, but not too much, as things are just stabilizing at the moment. Rufion's coming through to mitigate some of that damage, as Red Team's Gunlancer popping their ultimate here, and they're going to get a nice bit of damage out onto Blue Team's Paladin, who's actually trying to space away and disengage, but caught inside the freeze from the Scouter into a full Hurricane Rush by the blade, dropping that Paladin down into execute range and actually eating a little bit of rockets there at the end as well. Paladin very low HP, blade around 50% HP for Red, blade on Blue extremely low as well. Need to be careful, and the blade is actually going to get a nice headhunter off bottom side on Taku, but the Gunlancer is there to protect him. Rufion's coming through on the Paladin, but the blade is going to get a nice whirlwind knock up here on Taku. Looks to pop their Z and does not connect on the Z skill, however, and Paladin actually coming out with the shock, able to connect it initially, but you had the Gunlancer there to counteract anything going on, and Headhunter coming through on the Blue Blade, getting that knockdown, but he's actually going to get counterattack finished off here by the Gunlancer. Blade falling for Blue, and the Paladin on Blue Team is extremely low as well. Red Team Gunlancer getting off a nice burst cannon onto Blue Team's Gunlancer here. Two users of Red Team extremely low. Blade and Gunlancer very low on Red at the moment, trying to space away. Paladin has basically no HP. BT sees him and is waiting for an opportunity to go down on him. He's going to jump in very quickly, not able to connect it initially. Does get the whirlwind up though, and is going to look to finish him off, as his shield will drop off, and he's now going to be low HP. Instead, BT actually gets counter finished off by the Gunlancer, but the rockets come through on the Scouter to finish off the Paladin. It's a 2-2, as both teams will trade kills here in that situation. Gunlancer getting a knock into the blast there onto the Blue Blade, running away, trying to fall back towards his team. Scouter pursuing quickly, able to get the knockdown. Blade doesn't have a roll. He's going to come out with the rockets as well to get some nice additional damage onto the Blue Team's Blade here. Taku topside still above 50% HP, has not fallen here, getting off a nice beam, but the Rufions came through to mitigate a lot of that damage. Going to get the freeze off onto Blue Team's Gunlancer here, however, and he's actually going to jump around the map, avoiding the blade at the moment, is in his Iron Man mode, and he is actually going to connect for some nice damage there onto Blue Team's Blade. Gunlancer low on Blue as well. And you're actually going to see the blade disengage back topside. Gunlancer connecting on a nice chain pull. Is going to drop his ulti to put out some damage here on Red Team's Gunlancer. However, not able to connect on any of the other people for Red Team. Instead, Blue Team Blade getting off a nice whirlwind there to CC the Gunlancer out of the fight for the moment. And you're actually going to have the Gunlancer look to connect on a nice counterattack there, but is not able to get anything. Scouter coming in with the ulti, not able to finish anybody off with it. Gunlancer for Blue extremely low right now, and you're actually going to watch the blade fall, as the Gunlancer for Red is going to fall as well, but BT is going to come through and pick up another kill onto the enemy team's Gunlancer. And they're going to go up 4-3 at the moment. Taku still has not died in this match so far. So all the deaths, so it's only the Gunlancer on Red Team that's died twice. Taku still not having fallen inside that execution health range. Paladin ulti coming out as the convulsive buff hits here. Paladin pursuing Taku bottom side, looking to get him. Ulti coming out by the blade here, putting huge damage in on red team's Gunlancer, getting him dangerously low right now. And you're actually going to see BT come through with his ulti, and they're going to finish off the Paladin in one quick swift combination with the Scouter. 5-4 as the Gunlancer for red falls as well, trading kills between the two teams. Taku disengaging back towards his spawn, ready to fall back into the fire, baits back towards the fire, rolls bottom side, trying to escape from the blade. He's going to get knocked up in the whirlwind. Blade's going to try to finish him off, not able to get it there in the final seconds, and Taku and BT are actually going to advance into the winner's bracket for this series. Wow, what a great finish by red team there. It is much closer match this time around, as you saw blue team actually make the change over to Blade as well. As you can see here, both teams putting in very good showings overall. The Gunlancer, however, putting in a little bit more damage than the Paladin. However, the Paladin just not able to replicate that offensive performance that they had in the first match. And I think that just attributes to the comp that red team has now, with the Blade being far more difficult to lock down and catch in any sort of the CCs, as well as Taku just able to constantly roam around and avoid damage there on that Scouter, once again taking less than 100k damage, not dying. He's had 2 matches now, back-to-back matches, no deaths, and taking less than 100k damage while putting out over 300k damage. Very good, strong showings by Taku there on the Scouter. And while the Gunlancer for red did take a lot of damage, that was the thing that kept the match close. The Blade for blue took a lot of damage as well, however, but he did have the highest damage in the match, so he's able to offset it just a little bit. But overall, blue just not able to connect for that final kill bottom side to push it into an overtime on Taku. Much closer match this time around though, but you're going to watch as red team will advance into the winner's bracket and blue team will drop down into the loser's bracket. And so now we are going to move on into the winner's bracket matches for the quarterfinals. All right, and we are going to get the winner's bracket match of the quarterfinals underway. So winner of this match will advance to the semifinals next weekend automatically, while the loser will drop down and wait to play the winner of the loser's bracket match for an opportunity to still advance to the semifinals next weekend. So we are going to see BT back on that Demonic alongside Taku Scouter and the Gunlancer, and they are facing up against the winners of the first match today, which was Wardancer, Gunlancer, Summoner. Much more defensive comp over there on red team, going up a very offensive comp on blue. A little bit of knockdown action coming against out on red here as they wait for opportunities to come in. Demonic BT jumping in, going to get caught in a double knockdown, followed up by a paralysis orb, stunned on the ground. A huge damage coming out on BT, dropping around to 50% HP right away. Going to connect with that demon beam into the spikes, knock up onto that Gunlancer of red to put out a nice little chip, a bit of damage there. Gunlancer looking to get a chain pull, not quite able to get it. BT connecting on those blades, slowing that Summoner down on the backside. Wardancer jumping in, trying to get in onto this Gunlancer, not quite able to get it. Taku putting in the beam damage here, huge damage output onto that Wardancer topside right now, as the Wardancer is dropping below 50% HP and taking large chunks of damage right now, and he's going to be dropping well under 50% HP alongside their Gunlancer, who is around 50% HP now as well. BT just staying around on the outside edge, getting the poke, throwing out the blades and the demon spikes, connecting on both of them, getting the slowing and knockup, rolling that Wardancer now inside that execution range. BT connecting with that demon beam, and getting the stun onto that Summoner, and then diving in and getting the enhance off to further drop that Wardancer even lower. The Wardancer very much so just at the edge of death right there, and he's actually going to jump on top of the demon spikes from BT and get finished off right now, as the Summoner is quickly getting peeled off as well and dealt damage by Taku and BT, and the Gunlancer for red is going to fall now as well. Summoner still extremely low, and there it is. Scouter finishing off with the drone lightning orbs dropping down and taking him out. Blue team going up 3-0 right away in this matchup. Wardancer from red immediately trying to jump away, avoiding that 3v1 situation, but he not escaping unscathed. However, as the Gunlancer for red actually getting a nice counterattack into a full burst cannon off, but you have the Summoner right now on BT backside, getting the stagger off, throwing the blades, getting the slow there. BT trying to catch him in and engage. Summoner not quite able to get it. BT missing the demon beam there, and the Summoner is going to get the horses out there, however, but he is going to instead get picked off by Taku's beam topside to eat a little bit of damage, and you're going to watch as BT and the Gunlancer for blue are going to fall, and it's going to be 3-2 blue's lead at the moment. Summoner though around 50% HP. Taku just diving around all over the top side of the map, having his way with who he wants, waiting for his nice opportunities to engage, as you know, that Summoner doesn't have a lot of mobility to deal with Taku able to jump around. And you're going to have BT quickly pursue in on that top side, trying to get to that Summoner right now. But the War Dancer is looking to peel BT off. War Dancer not having their roll at the moment and is stuck, eating a little bit of the poke coming through, getting that Crescent Moon kick off over there on Taku. And he's going to pop his ulti, but Taku had his roll and is going to roll out of that ultimate, which would have finished him off. And the War Dancer is actually going to go jumping in right there. And Taku is going to get finished bottom side. However, as the Gun Lancer is going to eat the ultimate from the opposing team's Gun Lancer and drop low for blue team right now, but they are up 4-3 as the Summoner does fall once more, and it is very high offensive pressure coming out from blue there, but red is hanging in there. They're going to finish off the Gun Lancer for blue as well, tying it up 4-4, 45 seconds remaining in the match. Taku freshly coming out of spawn right now, just, you know, taking a little bit of the chip damage there, not really feeling like he needs to roll. Wasn't anything serious just yet. BT already back under 50% HP, needs to be careful, however, as Taku is looking to get a nice engagement there. Puts out some good damage onto the War Dancer. War Dancer dropping dangerously low now. We are inside that convulsive buff range. War Dancer trying to jump in. Taku putting out his ulti, not connecting on it though. BT bottom side getting Crescent Moon kick, dangerously low HP, not able to get the Demon Spikes to knock the War Dancer out of the tornado, chipping away at Taku and the Gun Lancer just a little bit. But the War Dancer on red actually low, getting caught in BT's ultimate top side, and that is going to be the kill to put up blue. 5-4, 5 seconds left. BT and Gun Lancer very low right now. If red is able to connect on a kill, they can push it into the overtime, and they are going to get it right there in the very final moments, and the overtime is going to kick in, and red is going to go up 6-5 right now as they've killed the Gun Lancer also, and they're going to go up one kill right now. 20 seconds remaining. Blue needs to get respawned, regrouped, and pick up another kill here. The Gun Lancer is very low at the moment, however, and the Rockets are going to just now narrowly clip the red team Gun Lancer, and they're going to fall. Summoner really low HP, falling back into their spawn, trying to get away, but there it is. Scouter picking him up with the drone freeze right there, and the War Dancer is going to get grabbed by the chain pull from blue team's Gun Lancer, and they're going to pick up another kill right here, and they're going to go up 2 kills right now in the final seconds of this overtime, and that is going to be a win for blue team in this first match of the winners bracket. Holy moly, what a finish there, ladies and gentlemen. Was not expecting it to go into such an intense swing back and forth in those final moments. Those are the types of things you love to see, though, that keep these matches exciting. So looking at the post-game breakdown, however, you will see Taku, once again, absolute dominant performance on that Scouter. Just look at that damage. Almost 500k damage coming out on the Scouter. Less than 200k damage taken. Absolutely putting out the pressure in this match against red team. I think overall, the Summoner was able to have a very standard performance for red with their damage output. However, they took considerable more damage this time than they normally take in their matches. And I think that was a big factor right here. I think if the Summoner is able to stay a little bit safer, they will have a much better opportunity to go up against blue team's very offensive heavy comp. But the problem there is locking down Taku, as Taku is very mobile on that Scouter and is able to, you know, get in and out on that Summoner very quickly before the War Dancer can come in and peel as well. But even if you peel Taku off, you can have BT there on the Demonic looking for those ranged engagements with the knockups and the beam stun as well. So it's a very difficult situation for red team as they have a much more passive defensive comp going up a very high aggro offensive mobile comp coming out from blue. So let's get this thrown into the next match. All right, starting off the second match of the winners round, and you are not going to see any comp changes for either team here. BT staying on the Demonic this time, not swapping over to his Blade. They felt pretty comfortable with their performance in that first match, not feeling the need to swap over to the Blade for this matchup. Summoner rolling bottom side to start things off, watching for an opportunity there. War Dancer top side, waiting for Taku to make a move. Summoner did get slowed by the blades of BT on the bottom end, and you're going to have the War Dancer get knocked there by the Gun Lancer. Paralysis Orb connecting bottom side right now, but before the Gun Lancer can get off their burst cannon, they actually get frozen by the Scouter. BT able to roll away before getting a full burst cannon to the face there. Very nice save there by Taku. Right now, Gun Lancers bottom side trading with one another. BT and Taku trying to connect over here on this War Dancer. War Dancer putting a little bit of poke onto Taku, avoiding the freeze right there at the last moment. BT coming in with his ulti right now, but not connecting on anyone with it, unfortunately. And you know, it's not going to do anything for him there, as he's actually still going to get staggered out by the Summoner and then caught into the War Dancer Tornado and eat a nice bit of damage there. BT needs to be a little careful here, trying to disengage, does get knocked up, followed once more by the War Dancer on blue, and you're actually going to have the ultimate come out by his War Dancer in order to give him some protection and peel off for him, and they're going to very quickly exchange high damage onto the blue War Dancer there with the Burst Cannon and Enhance coming out between BT and their Gun Lancer, going to give them the first kill of the match, up 1-0 right now. Summoner dropping really low right now between the Demonic and Taku right now, bottom side. Summoner inside that execution health range. They're shielding, just barely saving them. Oh, Summoner missing the Phoenix on BT there for an opportunity to finish him off. BT is going to survive with that sliver of HP. Missed a chance there to finish BT off, unfortunately. And the Summoner, very low HP, looking to, you know, stay in the match, is going to get stunned and chain pulled by the Gun Lancer there, but is still going to survive with almost no HP. Trying to catch a stagger there onto BT, is going to get him with the little pushback wave, but is going to get finished off by the blue team's Gun Lancer. Kill trades going out between both teams. 2-1 red lead right now. Gun Lancer on red getting whittled down by the Tornado at the moment. Backstepping away, coming out of it. Blue, 2 members under 50% HP, needs to be careful. Gun Lancer extremely low for red, rolling out of the paralysis orb right there, getting a nice double knockdown, getting some nice value out of that low HP, forcing their rolls. Scouter freeze coming through onto blue team's Gun Lancer, but you're gonna have the Summoner finish off red team's Gun Lancer there, tying things up 2-2, but 2 people on blue are extremely low. Red is still very much so in control of this match. Taku currently in his Iron Man form at the moment, flying around the map, looking for an opportunity here. Is going to go in and tries to get some damage there on that Gun Lancer, but the Gun Lancer gets the counterattack off, but Taku's still going to come out of that stun and just blast him to execute him out. 3-2 red lead right now. War Dancer on blue, still really low. Going to get frozen into the beam from Scouter right now. The Rockets looking to pursue on that drone. Demonic jumping in, is going to go get... Oh, he does not get the explosion out. He actually gets knocked out of his explosion. Gun Lancer, though, connecting there for a knockback. BT really low. Taku is going to finish off the War Dancer, however, and now the Summoner is going to fall as well to BT here. Very nice damage exchange from red right now. They're going to go up 5-2 as they're now going to actually 3v1 this poor Gun Lancer and take a 4-kill lead with 1 minute remaining in this match. BT low HP. Taku still well above 50% HP, has not died in this match once more, is playing very well for this round, has taken almost no damage in comparison to everybody else in this matchup right now. BT extremely low, just getting some poke out with those blades, not able, narrowly dodging the Flame Worm from the Summoner, but does get followed up on and falls right there. 6-3 blue, trying to get their way back into this match. They just need to take their time and chip away at red right now, and the convulsive buff is going to start dropping in here. Taku getting knocked back into his spawn, eating a little bit of that percent HP damage from the flames, and he's now going to try to get jumped on by the War Dancer, but is able to dash away from him. Demonic bottom end getting that knock up into the blades, and Taku coming in with the ulti and drone to finish off that Summoner bottom end, giving them a 4-kill lead. That's basically going to secure them the match, as blue will not be able to get enough kills in 10 seconds for the remainder of this match. Ulti coming out, nice 68k crit onto BT there by the Gun Lancer, but not able to finish him, unfortunately. Huge amount of damage came out by blue in the final seconds, but they're only going to be able to finish off the Gun Lancer here in those final moments. 7-4, and red is going to finish off the winner's bracket with a quick 2-0 win in this series, and they are advancing to the semifinals next weekend. So now blue team is going to drop down, and they are going to wait for the winner of the losers bracket match to play once more for an opportunity to advance to the semifinals. Let's take a quick look at the post game breakdown. Now keep in mind, remember, Taku had pretty much did not die in that match. In fact, Taku over here 4-0-3. He was a part of every single kill, and he took no deaths, and he took less than 100k damage by a considerable amount. He only took 67,000 damage. That is an extremely low amount of damage. You know, this is one of the things that's been being talked about, is that, you know, DPS classes that have their own ability to shield themselves is, you know, a bit of a topic of conflict amongst the PvP scene, as it, you know, just kind of leads into a little bit of a tanky meta now that the pacing's been slowed down a bit, Agi's been reduced, the matches are shorter, and you're kind of looking at a little bit of a meta shift for some of these team comps that lead into a just, you know, being able to survive a lot of situations. And that's part of why War Dancer is such a popular pick as well, just having that really nice group damage reduction utility. But this time around, the Summoner got bullied out by BT and Taku a little too much, taking a lot of damage here. But overall, it's just, you know, blue team was not able to get onto Taku at all. They were not able to stop him one bit, and he had free reign of the map. So congratulations to red team. They are moving on to the semifinals. Looking forward to see what they bring there. And we are now going to move into the losers bracket match to see who is going to take the opportunity to fight this blue team in that match to try and advance to the semifinals. All right, and we are going to get this losers bracket match underway. Winner of this match will still play against the loser of the previous match for an opportunity still advance to the semifinals. However, whoever loses here will be officially eliminated from the tournament. And right away, you're going to have blue team coming in very quickly. Big knock coming in from the Gunlancer. Huge Hurricane Rush, getting all three members of red team there, dropping some of their HP right away and forcing a shield out. And blue team's going to immediately back off to make that shield not do anything for their team, unfortunately, in that situation. Soulfist trying to connect on a knock up there with the Tri-Orbs, not quite able to get it. Gatling for a little bit of poke damage on that Blade. Blade is going to move around on the bottom side, get a nice Headhunter knock onto the Paladin of red team there. War Dancer still getting chipped away little by little. Paladin eating another Hurricane Rush there while knocked on the ground, dropping close to 50% HP. Tri-Orbs coming out by that Soulfist, getting a nice little knock there. Paladin getting a knock onto blue team's Paladin, and he's going to actually get counter knocked by the Blade with the Whirlwind there. Gunlancer looking to put some hurt in onto this Soulfist at the moment. The War Dancer and Paladin are both around 50% HP for red team at the moment. The Blade is actually chunking into the Soulfist now, getting him close to 50% HP as well. This Blade is just absolutely having their way with who they want at the moment. Forced to move away from a Soulfist stun with the Sword of Justice coming through onto the Soulfist, dropping them low as well. Everybody on red team just getting chipped down bit by bit right now, and they are all getting into that low HP range. And right now, not coming in from the Gunlancer here. Another Hurricane Rush getting the Paladin and Soulfist here, dropping them both really low. Soulfist extremely low HP at the moment, actually, and caught by the Gunlancer into a stun, but the Gunlancer doesn't have any damage to finish them off. The Rufion's coming through on the Paladin. Blue Paladin ulti coming out. Headhunter is going to finish off red team's Paladin, however, coming out from the Blade. The Soulfist still extremely low and is actually going to get Sword of Justice for a nice 19k there by blue team's Paladin, and they are going to go up 2-0 in this match, 3-0 as they finish off the War Dancer as well. Paladin looking to regroup with his team, falling back into his own spawn. Stun coming out by the Blade a little too early as the invulnerability was still on for that Soulfist. Rolling away, going to get the not able to get the knockup actually, and instead going to get knocked by the Paladin, eat the full spin. Rufion's coming out by red team's Paladin, however, but he gets knocked out of it. Soulfist looking for an opportunity to engage. They're not quite able to. Red team having some difficulty connecting on blue team right now, as blue team is still, sitting around those safe HP range, except for the Blade, who does just eat a bit of chunk of damage here. Soulfist looking to finish him off, however, not quite able to get it, but he is going to fall to the Guardians of the Paladin for red, and he is going to be the first death for blue team. 3-1 blues lead at the moment, but they are still pushing members into their spawn. Actually, that is blue team Gunlancer jumping into red team spawn, and he's actually going to get stunned in there. A little bit of Sword of Justice, but a Rufion's came through to mitigate some of that damage, but this Gunlancer is still going to fall for blue team. 3-2 ultimate coming out by the War Dancer there, and that is actually going to finish off the Paladin as well. Blade retreating back to his own spawn, waiting for his team to come out, and he's going to actually go in for a nice engage, get a whirlwind knockup into a double ulti onto red team, and that is going to drop the Paladin down under 50% HP, as well as taking a chunk out of the Soulfist also. Paladin forced to use a spin there, mitigate some ongoing stagger, and you're going to have the Paladin topside for blue trying to get the Soulfist caught in a stagger into a CC, but Paladin for red is actually going to fall to a massive amount of damage coming out from the Blade on blue team here, using their identity skill to take away his HP in one swift attack, and that is going to give blue team a kill lead right now. 4-3. Headhunter coming out, not quite able to connect on who they want for that target there. Soulfist and War Dancer looking for opportunities, but this War Dancer getting counter knocked once more by the Paladin into the spin. Soulfist coming in with the palm stun. Red team ulti coming in by the Paladin, getting some shield out for his team in these 20 seconds remaining with the convulsive going. Nice Sword of Justice through onto blue team's. Big ulti coming out by the Soulfist here, but in last second shielding coming out by the Gunlancer to keep that Paladin alive just a little bit longer, but the Paladin is still going to fall. 4-4, 10 seconds remaining. Soulfist has no HP left on red team. He's going to get grabbed by a Chainfist there. Very low HP here, and he's going to fall inside the Hurricane Rush of the Blade. However, 5-4 blues lead, and they are going to secure the win in this first match. What a finish right there. Very close, right down to the wire once more. Last second kills to secure victories in this matchup. Let's go take a look at the post-game stats. Right there, you can see it. The Blade bringing home that damage for blue team. Overall, red team, not really a bad performance necessarily. Very steady, consistent performance. Perhaps the Paladin took a little too much damage compared to the rest of the team in terms of their damage output, but the Paladin in this environment is actually playing more like a dedicated support and not like a offensive DPS support like other Paladins have been For example, say blue team's Paladin perhaps had a little bit more of a offensive showing, had 4 assists as well, a part of a lot of kills for their team. But you are going to have a very nice offensive output showing by the Blade on blue team, securing that victory for them there with a few very good Hurricane rushes, getting multiple people inside of them, which just cranks up the damage for them quite a bit in these matches. So first win of this matchup is going to go to blue team, and let's get into the second match. All right, moving into the second match of this losers bracket round, we are going to have no comp changes once more on either side, no roster changes to their classes, and you're still going to see that Soul Fist, War Dancer, Paladin over there on blue team. They need to get a win here to force this into a third match. If red team wins, they will fight once more for an opportunity to advance to the semifinals, with the losers from the winners bracket round. Sword of Justice coming out early on onto red team's Gunlancer there for a nice bit of poke damage, but the Soul Fist for blue has taken a nice bit of damage here early on as well. Guardian Blast coming out right there for a little bit of damage onto the Blade. However, right now Gunlancer looking for an opportunity to put in a little bit of damage here, but he just doesn't have any of his cooldowns for it right now. Paladin rolling away from that Gunlancer right now. Soul Fist coming in with the blast, not quite able to connect on that stun. Headhunter from range right there, knocking the Soul Fist away. Red team coming in with the Paladin ultimate right now as the Gunlancer was dropping down around 50% HP. Headhunter, actually Hurricane Rush coming through right there on the Blade for that Soul Fist, dropping them down below 50% HP. Blade taking a little bit of damage right now, not in anything too dangerous. However, I'm going to take a quick little palm attack by that Soul Fist. Red team regrouping, bottom side of the map, blue team waiting for an opportunity to go in here, and instead the Blade is actually going to connect in on a stun with a whirlwind into the Headhunter for a nice damage combination onto that War Dancer, and was able to get that nice counter engage there. Blade dumping in immediately, looking to get a push in onto blue team here, keeping the aggressive front up, jumping in, was able to avoid the stun from the Soul Fist here, rolling away. Soul Fist goes, trying to avoid that Blade. Right now, War Dancer looking to connect in onto this Gunlancer. Instead, procs the counter attack and gets CC'd, knocked down right now. And you have the Soul Fist trying to space away at the moment. He is topside, trying to get a knock up, not quite able to connect it. War Dancer pursuing this Gunlancer, does get the knock on that Gunlancer, forcing his roll. Blade connecting over here on the bottom side of the map on the Paladin, getting that knockdown. Hurricane rushing that Paladin, but the Paladin is able to stand up and get their shield off, stunning the Blade out of their initial CC. And the Gunlancer very low HP right now for red team. Blade able to connect with their ulti on that Soul Fist, but was not able to put too much damage out. Gunlancer falling for red, 1-0 blues lead. Sword of Justice coming through, but not for very much damage. Soul Fist getting a nice tri-orb knockup into the Galleon, onto the Blade there, dropping them down into the low HP range, 25% HP, and need to be careful. They are nearing that execution health range, and it actually could fall very quickly to one combination, but all of blue team slowly dropping down. A little bit of Hurricane Rush damage coming out, dropping that Soul Fist down a little bit lower. War Dancer on blue, waiting for an opportunity to go in, gets that Crescent Moonkick onto the Gunlancer to knock him out, but the War Dancer is going to get staggered out by that Paladin into a knockup, into the stun, and the Paladin and War Dancer for blue are actually going to fall, as that Paladin did get finished off by the Gunlancer's ultimate. Blade on red team still very low, still going to get a nice knock up here and actually continue to pursue, and actually does get the Headhunter off, dropping the Soul Fist really low, and this Soul Fist is going to fall to the Z skill of this Blade right there. Blade getting very good value out of their low HP right now. War Dancer ulti coming out, Gunlancer just tanking through it. War Dancer getting pretty much zero value out of that ultimate right there. Paladin, the only one with some damage taken right now for red team, as they are up 3-2, and they do have a HP advantage, as the Paladin does take a little bit more damage. However, Blade bottom side getting a nice knock up into the double Headhunter once more, into the Hurricane Rush, getting a little more damage out before they get knocked up by the Soul Fist. Blue team's Paladin coming out with their ultimate right now to mitigate some damage, and red team is going to just avoid any hard engagements at the moment while that shielding is up, and blue team is trying to make some sort of offensive pressure happen, not really able to connect on anything while they had all that shielding available to them. Paladin does get staggered out of his shock right there. Blade connecting on a nice double Headhunter there into another knockup into the Hurricane Rush for a nice damage combination overall. Huge damage came out on the Soul Fist there, dropping him immediately. Soul Fist just got deleted out of nowhere with that convulsive buff active. Huge damage came out, dropping down 4-2. Right now, the Paladin is inside their own spawn, eating some of that flame damage, and is going to get finished off by the War Dancer. 4-3. Very close match right now. 5 seconds left. Blue team needs to pick up another kill, and they need to not die at all whatsoever. 2 seconds remaining. Not able to connect anywhere on a kill. Soul Fist ulti coming out, but does not connect on any targets with it, and red team is going to take the win here, and they're going to close it out with a very quick 2-0, and they are going to advance once more for an opportunity to move on to the semifinals. Let's take a quick look at this damage breakdown in the post-match. And right there, you can see it once more, the Blade coming through with a very strong showing. Nice damage output, low damage taken, matching their Gunlancer's damage taken, while more than doubling his damage output. The Paladin having a very solid showing. While he did not have a lot of damage taken, his damage dealt was still higher, despite being on the lower end, only at 140k. But the important thing there is that he actually still did more damage than what he took, bringing solid value to his contribution in those 3 assists. Meanwhile, the Paladin over on blue team, not really able to get anything going. He was getting a little bit bullied by the Blade this time around, as he took 200,000 damage, which overall in, contrast isn't a lot, but he was not even able to deal 100k damage, so was not able to bring much in the offensive front for his team, and it was left entirely up to the Soulfist and Wardancer to secure any kills whatsoever in this round. So blue team, unfortunately, they are completely eliminated from the tournament, and red team is going to move on once more to fight the losers of the winners bracket match, and the winner of that match will move on to the semifinals next weekend. So without further ado, let's get into the final match series of the day. All right, we're going to move into the final match series of the quarterfinals for Group A today. Winner of this match will move into the semifinals next weekend, and the loser will be eliminated from the tournament. We're seeing Wardancer, Gunlancer, Summoner up against the Gunlancer Paladin, now Lancemaster, which was previously Blade last round. Going up against it here. Lancemaster jumped around bottom side of the map very early on. Quick knockups coming in by blue team here, with the red team Lancemaster on the backside, come diving in with the red Dragonfly, gets the tornado, but does get paralysis orbed out by the Summoner for that peel there. Very nice peel by blue team Summoner. Blue team's Wardancer jumping in, but instead getting counter staggered by the Paladin here into the shock, eating a little bit of damage there. Blue team's Gunlancer unable to connect on that chain pole, unfortunately, as the Ruffians comes out by the Paladin on red to mitigate any of the damage coming through by blue team's Tornado Wardancer. Blue team's Gunlancer getting chipped down little by little here, around 50% HP. So far, everybody on red still kind of healthy overall. Lancemaster the only one having taken considerable damage. Red ulti coming out right there and finishing off, absolutely executing blue team's Gunlancer there with red team's Gunlancer ultimate. A huge 69k crit here in the first minute of the match, and that's immediately going to put blue on the back foot here, forcing the Summoner into the spawn, and the Wardancer low HP topside by himself, completely on his own at the moment. Blue team's Gunlancer going to get a stun there, and red team's Gunlancer is going to roll out, as the blue team Wardancer is going to come in with their ulti, not able to connect on anyone for it, and is instead going to get finished off coming out of that ulti. Very unfortunate there, as the Summoner is forced to use their Phoenix in order to avoid the chain pull, but now gets stunned by the Lancemaster here, and the Lancemaster is going to look to get another stagger in to finish off the Summoner. 3-kill lead for red team now. Blue team getting chipped down even more, dropping down even lower. Blue team, the Wardancer and Gunlancer dropping under 50% HP already, while the Summoner still needs to respawn. Wardancer coming in with the tornado there, able to get some nice damage out onto the Lancemaster, as they are forced to use their ulti now. Move bottom side to avoid from blue team's damage coming out. Wardancer jumping in, Summoner ulti coming out as well. Gonna put out some nice damage there on the red team Gunlancer, dropping him into that execution health range. Phoenix coming out, not able to connect for it, however, and the blue team Wardancer's combustion is actually going to drop off with the Gunlancer just out of range of it. Gunlancer trying to finish off this Wardancer, but not able to do it. But instead, blue team's Wardancer is going to fall instead, however, to the Lancemaster once more. 4-0 lead for red team. Red team's Gunlancer being very aggressive with their low HP, just in their spawn trying to bully, and he's gonna fall there. Got really nice value out of his low HP. Blue team's Gunlancer low HP now as well, and they are gonna finish off the Lancemaster for red. Red team still very much so in control of this match with a 4-2 lead, with the blue team Gunlancer extremely low right now, able to grab the chain pull into the bash on that Wardancer, but the blue team Gunlancer is going to get a nice counter double knock instead. Paralysis orb coming out by the Summoner there, and they're going to get off a full burst cannon onto that Lancemaster. The Ruffian's just a little too late to mitigate that damage. Really great value out of this Gunlancer's low HP situation, as he's actually going to knock the Paladin into the Wardancer tornado, dropping that Paladin to that low HP right now. This Gunlancer on blue team still alive, getting really solid value out of this low HP environment that he's in right now. And you're going to have the Paladin come out, get a knock onto this War Dancer get the Sword of Justice along with the Red Spear coming out by the Lancemaster to drop him down to extremely low HP. This Lancemaster looking to finish him off. They're going to finish off the Gunlancer finally for blue team as well as the War Dancer, and they're going to move into a 4-kill lead in this situation. Red team running away with it a little bit now. 30 seconds remaining. Convulsive buff is active, and they have just knocked the Summoner once more. 23k coming out by that Red Spear into the Red Dragonflight. Not quite able to finish him off. Ulti coming out by Gunlancer here, and they're going to finish off for a nice double kill onto the Paladin and Lancemaster. Unfortunately, they still need to get 2 more kills with 15 seconds remaining. It is possible, but the Summoner is extremely low, and they have to stay away. This Lancemaster is going to look to pursue onto this Soul Fist for a quick kill to secure their victory right now. 6 seconds remaining, and there is no kill secures in sight for either team except for maybe on that Summoner. You're going to have the Flame Worm come out, and that shield is going to eat the Sword of Justice, but nobody is going to die during that time. 6-4, red team going to take the first win in this best of 3 in an attempt to move forward to the semifinals. Let's take a quick look at the post-game stat breakdown. And right here, you're going to see the Lancemaster with a very nice offensive showing for red team. He was able to pick up quite a few kills around blue team spawn in the middle of that match there. And actually a very nice contributing element from red team all around. Everybody on red team having 2 kills and 4 assists equally across the board there. Very nice balanced team showing. Not too often you see something like that line up so perfectly. Blue team, unfortunately, their Gunlancer was not able to secure any kills with everything coming out from the War Dancer and the Summoner. Summoner, not too bad of a showing overall. The War Dancer, however, taking just way too much damage in this situation, needs to mitigate some of that damage that they're taking a little bit, maybe play a little bit safer. They had a few bad series there with some ultimates that came through by the Lancemaster and the Gunlancer, but overall, I think if blue team is able to protect that Summoner still, if they can protect that Summoner and get a little bit better contribution out of the War Dancer, they can definitely take a victory away from this red team's very aggro Gunlancer. But red team does still have a lot of shielding at their disposal with that Gunlancer and Paladin double support composition rolling through. So let's move in to this second match in this best of 3 for advancing to the semifinals. No comp change on either team at the moment, and we are going to get this match immediately underway. Lancemaster immediately jumping down to the bottom side of the map once more, looking to circle around on the backside, trying to get the stagger out on that Summoner. Not quite able to get it. Is going to get knocked right away this time. Rolls forward towards the Summoner, not able to connect on it though. Did not get to see an opportunity. Blue team's Gunlancer able to get a chain pull, but does get staggered out of it by the Summoner. Summoner keeping their distance, staying behind their Gunlancer this time, making sure that they are protected very much so this time. Lancemaster having taken a little bit of damage already here at the beginning, around 75% HP, getting staggered out right now, is knocked once more into the Flame Worm leap as well from the War Dancer, dropping the Lancemaster down to 50% health. And this Lancemaster now trying to space away and reposition for another opportunity here. Comes diving in, Red Dragonflight, not able to get too much damage on that, but does get a nice 15k spear hit. Not any of that big 30k that you like to see coming out of it for that max range, but it's still a nice amount of damage nonetheless. Summoner ulti coming through, connecting for some nice damage onto the Paladin of blue team, dropping everybody on blue team around to 40% HP, while red team has only had considerable damage taken on their War Dancer here. Getting another knock on the War Dancer. Lancemaster dropping low for blue team, however, needs to be careful here as he gets jumped on by the War Dancer into a tornado. 3-man tornado by the War Dancer for red team there, dropping that Summoner down now and getting finished off, or dropping that Lancemaster down. The Lancemaster getting finished off there, and that is going to put red up 1-0 right now. Blue team's Paladin very low HP, however, needs to be careful. War Dancer once again engaging, looking to get a finish off, does not able to finish that Paladin. Unfortunately, however, as the War Dancer is caught inside the tornado of the Lancemaster and then re-engaged on by the Lancemaster to get executed out, but the Gunlancer simultaneously falls for blue team, putting them still down 2-1, red's favor. The Paladin still extremely low health on blue team as well. Needs to have an opportunity here to reset himself, and he is going to die there and look for the opportunity to reset, but the Lancemaster is currently getting juggled around in a very dangerous situation. Another double tornado by this War Dancer, dropping this Lancemaster once more down to low HP, shielding coming out to eat all of that ultimate damage. Lancemaster doesn't have their roll at the moment and still stuck eating some of the damage, but fortunately they had a nice bit of shielding at their disposal to keep them alive. Does get the stagger over there on the Summoner backside right now. War Dancer trying to get some space back out to go and peel Getting that Crescent Moon kick off on the Paladin to peel for his Summoner. Right now, Gunlancer dropping into that low HP for red team right there. Nice ulti coming out by the Lancemaster there, but is not able to connect on the end of it. Does get a little bit of pushback on the spear there for red team, getting two people caught inside that tornado, taking down a little bit of damage on red team. However, not enough to finish anybody off as the Lancemaster continues to drop lower and lower and is actually going to get finished off here now by the Chainhook. 4-1 lead for red. Ulti coming out by the Gunlancer, not connecting on anyone for any big damage. Not like previous round where we saw that absolute execution come through. Another tornado coming through by that War Dancer there, getting really good value out of this War Dancer this match time. Gunlancer finally falling for red team. 4-2 Red's lead. Two people on blue extremely low, but the other two people on red are low as well. Sort of just coming through, not connected for a lot of damage, but they're going to get a 3v1 onto this Summoner bottom side of the map to move it into 4-3. If they can pick off the War Dancer here, this would be a good opportunity to put them in a 3v1 situation on this Gunlancer as well. The War Dancer jumping in, trying to get a finishing kill onto those two targets, not quite able to get it. Lancemaster respacing away. The Summoner has respawned. This is now an ideal situation. Oh, Paladin ulti coming out for some big shielding here. Blue team's going to try to get aggressive with this convulsive buff active while they have the shielding going. Lancemaster not able to get anything, and actually you're going to have the War Dancer connect over here with the tornado on the Paladin, and the Gunlancer is going to fall as well as the Paladin, and red team is going to move up with a 3-kill advantage right now with 14 seconds remaining. The War Dancer is low HP, however, but I do not see blue team picking up 3 kills here with 7 seconds left. Instead, you are going to see the War Dancer fall at last to the Lancemaster, but the Lancemaster is not able to connect for a kill over here on this Summoner. In fact, the Lancemaster is dropping low instead, and red team will take a win here, forcing this into a 3rd game. We are going to see this match that is going to determine who moves on to the semifinals, moving to a 3rd game here. And once again, here it is. You know, it's happened again. Everybody on red team this time, each picking up 2 kills. All right. Blue team this time around, the Lancemaster still had a relatively great offensive showing. However, the Lancemaster taking the most damage in the match with that 390k. It has to be careful with that. Trying to play really aggressive, was not able to connect on it, and probably stayed around a little too long in some situations, rolling into offensive situations and then getting knocked again and not being able to have their role at that point anymore to stand up and just eating unnecessary damage. But overall, exactly what happened that we talked about, got much better value out of the War Dancer this time on red team, you know, having a very even damage output, damage taken situation for themselves. But this Summoner played way more defensively, staying back behind their Gunlancer, kept themselves in more protected situations, and as a result was able to absolutely pop off with all of their big casts and just put out a lot of damage onto blue team. And that was what was able to allow them to secure this win in this second match. And this is going to force it into a 3rd match to decide who advances to the semifinals. All right, and we are going to get this 3rd and final match of the quarterfinals underway. Winner here moves into the semifinals next weekend. And you're actually going to see red team making a change to their roster. They are swapping out of that Lancemaster once more, going to their trusty Blade. And you're going to see that Blade Gunlancer Paladin comp coming in once more. Blade immediately jumping in, but does get stunned right away on that engagement into a knockup with that Crescent Moon kick, and is going to take a nice chunk of damage, but does get a Headhunter off onto blue team. But blue team, having shielding up right away, is not taking any damage on their team yet, and red team's Blade has taken a little bit of damage so far. Summoner horses coming out, trying to connect. Blade quickly pursuing, does get the stun there, but has to dash away to avoid the Gunlancer, unfortunately. Rufion's coming out by red team's Paladin to provide some of that damage reduction for his Blade, who's in that backline. Does get caught in the stagger by the Summoner into a Gunlancer grab stun, and right now the Blade is just eating an immense amount of damage, but is able to jump around to the top side, connect on a nice Headhunter, and that War Dancer finally taking some damage for blue team as well. War Dancer jumping back in, quickly having to force the space away, is the Blade tries to connect over here onto the Summoner, instead gets absolutely nuked by the Summoner Phoenix backside after getting caught in the Paralysis Orb, and the Blade is going to fall. 1-0 lead for blue team. This Summoner once again getting to put out some nice damage for their team, having not really taken much damage themselves, catching this Gunlancer in a little bit of a stagger, allowing the War Dancer to get an engage there. Blade respawning, coming in, looking for an opportunity now. Paladin pushing forward, not quite able to connect on anything there. Blade looking still topside, does get knocked down, gets knocked once more, and is going to eat an ultimate from the War Dancer on blue team, but fortunately there was shielding that completely mitigated all the damage of that ultimate. Red team's Gunlancer taking a little bit of damage, getting chunked down around to about 60% HP, as blue is slowly going to eat a little bit of damage down over time. as the War Dancer and the Gun Lancer slowly have their HP taken down bit by bit. Right now, though, Gun Lancer on red team getting dangerously low as the blade is already low once again for red team. He's playing a little too aggressive and is not getting much reward for it. There it is, nice little headhunter finally onto that War Dancer, dropping him into that low HP range. But red team is still very much so on the back foot in this environment. They are definitely not getting the opportunities of engagements that they're looking for, as this Gun Lancer is going to look to get a nice burst cannon off, but the Ruffians came through on red team to protect him. Gun Lancer for red team still extremely low. Caught inside the War Dancer tornado is going to fall. 2-0 lead for red. Blade still extremely low. Worm coming out as well as the Summoner ultimate. Blade is basically no HP bottom side and is going to get finished off there, and it's going to be a 3-0 swing for blue team as that Paladin is still really low on red as well, and this is an opportunity for blue to actually take a 4-0 lead if they can get a nice turnaround here. But the Paladin's going to come through and get a nice sort of justice off to finish off that War Dancer before getting phoenixed by the Summoner to fall himself. 4-1 blues lead, 80 seconds remaining right now. Nice Hurricane Rush happening up there on the edge of the screen, getting some nice damage out onto that Summoner, dropping them low HP. War Dancer coming through with that tornado to put some damage back out onto that Blade right away. Blade getting a nice whirlwind into the Z skill identity activation to finish off that Summoner, and right now the Warlord is going to fall for blue team as well. They're still up 4-3 with the health advantage in this situation, but red team is still now very much so in this match. Going to get a nice chain pull bash off onto this War Dancer, chipping away at his HP a little bit there. Summoner looking to get a stagger, not quite able to get it. Gun Lancer able to get the chain pull into the counter attack. A little bit of peel coming out by the Summoner as well. Paladin ultimate coming out by red team here, putting out some shielding for their team, and they're going to try to go aggressive here onto blue. Summoner managing to avoid the whirlwind of that Blade. That Blade jumping in bottom side. Red Gun Lancer ulti coming out, able to connect on multiple of them there for some nice damage coming through, dropping down the health bar of blue team. Right now that War Dancer dropping dangerously low, as well as the Summoner who's being pursued by the Blade. Blade ult coming through, connecting on both of them, and that's going to be a quick kill onto that Summoner. Red team, though, also dropping low HP, but that War Dancer is still inside the low HP range for blue team. Summoner now in that quick respawn, coming back out, jumping out. The War Dancer goes, falling back behind the Summoner. Summoner pushing up as they're the only one who's full HP, and does have a shield available. It is 4-4 at the moment, 5 seconds remaining. This is looking like it's going to move into overtime, however, and you're going to actually have a nice chain pull bash coming out by the Gun Lancer there from red. And you're looking for the War Dancer topside on their own. Needs to be very careful here. Does get knocked, and before the Paladin can follow up with the Sword of Justice, gets disrupted. Flame Worm coming out, and you're going to see a kill on both sides as the War Dancer falls and the Paladin falls, and you're going to see it still be 5-5. This is still anyone's game in overtime right now. Gun Lancer low HP right now. Blue team is in the advantage health wise, and red needs to be very careful with that Gun Lancer who is low. Fortunately, that is the tankiest member of their team. Blade cashing a nice whirlwind knock up here, and this is going to move into golden kill. First team to have someone die will lose. Next kill wins. Blue team coming in, 3-man topside, looking to get a 3v1 right here. Nice damage coming out onto that Blade right there. It's still golden kill. We're looking for it right now. This match moving on a little bit longer than expected into this golden kill series. The tornado of that War Dancer trying to connect over here on the Gun Lancer. Catches them bottom side. Blade coming in though to get that tornado knock up. However, Paladin has no HP, a little bit of shielding. Summoner is trying to finish him off, and that pet chasing him around. Bottom side of the map though, low HP coming through. Double Headhunter getting that War Dancer even lower, but you're going to have the Paladin get caught into the tornado, and he is going to fall at the final moment before the Gun Lancer can come through to protect him, and that is going to be a secured kill for blue team to advance into the semifinals. Let's take a quick look at that damage breakdown. What a finish for this match to move things to advance to the semifinals. The final quarterfinals match to move to the semifinals comes down to a golden kill situation between these two teams, desperate to stay in it. Great damage output performance by this Blade for red team, but if you notice during that match, he was playing very hyper aggressive and was getting caught in a lot of CC, getting knocked down a lot again, and taking a lot of unnecessary damage. And as a result, they did take the most damage in the match as well. However, their Paladin took a considerable amount of damage as well and ended up being the final death of the match, taking 380k damage while having very little offensive contribution, but still bringing his worth in all of his damage reduction, allowing that Blade to be able to survive as much as it did in this matchup. But overall, blue team, once again, that Summoner coming through with the huge damage while taking, much less damage than what they were dealing out. Very nice showing by the Summoner. Once again, there were some very huge moments by the Summoner, including the big Phoenix that finished off the Blade when it was low HP bottom of the map, as well as the Flame Worm that dropped this Paladin inside that golden kill moment, dropping that Paladin down really low with that Flame Worm. in that golden kill situation. So very nice showing here by blue team as they will move on to the semifinals. Well, everyone, that is going to wrap up the quarterfinals matches for Group A. We'll be coming back to you later this week with the Group B quarterfinal matches, where we will get to see a few other teams battle it out for the chance to move to the semifinals. Semifinals are going to take place next weekend from the time that this video is being recorded, or the upcoming weekend, and then from the time this video is being recorded. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the semifinals will play out. Those are going to be a best of 5. So for those who don't know how it works, semifinals, again, are best of 5, and the third place match will be a best of 5, while the finals is going to be a best of 7. So those days are going to be very long. We'll be casting those games live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zav. They are very early. They are at midnight EST, very late or early, depending on how you want to look at it. But we will be doing those Friday and Saturday night. So if you're looking to catch those live, definitely drop on in. But we will be posting the VODs of them as well on YouTube also. So thank you all for watching. Have a good one, and we will catch you in the next cast.